This video is sponsored by the like button. Because if I have learned anything from my time on YouTube, it is this. If I put a title out there that will probably rile a bunch of people up, which is not my intention at all, but still, a bunch of people will probably read the title, not watch the video, and spam this video with dislikes. So for those of you who are actually sensible and want to hear what I think about something that is subjective and not objective, because I am not wrong for not liking something as much as you do, and you are not wrong for liking something more than I do, then this video is sponsored by the like button. Go ahead, click it. I dare you. Anyways, with all that aside, for those of you who are still listening, let's talk Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So for those of you who have been watching me for a while, and honestly, I don't even think I mention it that much in videos, if ever at all, but I'm one of those people who don't love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, at least before this rewatch. When I watched this film for the first time in theaters in 2018, I remember thinking, look, the animation is gorgeous, it is so unique and interesting to look at, but at the end of the day, I came out of the movie theater going, didn't do it for me somehow. And since then, I've gotten tons of flack from my friends because a lot of people in my circles and on the internet and on YouTube hail this as the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made, which I, for the life of me, just cannot understand. So going into this rewatch, I thought, okay, look, it's been a while since I saw the movie. I saw it once. I really never had a desire to see it again. But for this rewatch series, I thought, let's give it another try. So I went into the movie, as always, for those of you who know me, with an open mind, completely open mind, and I was willing to be totally wrong. I was willing to let this movie be the #1 best Spider-Man movie because I don't care about being wrong. I just care about enjoying art. So I'm sorry to say that this film is still not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't even think it's close. What I can say is this film did move up a little bit. If you've watched my video ranking the Spider-Man films, then you'll know what my ranking is. So I would say that as of right now, this film will slot pretty nicely between the Raimi trilogy and the MCU Spider-Man films. Maybe, depending on the day when you ask me, it might be below Spider-Man 2, maybe it'll be above, maybe it'll be tied. It's somewhere around there. It's a very, very good movie. And the best way that I can describe this for me, if you've seen my Infinity Saga rewatch videos, is this. I love Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think it is one of the most complete MCU movies. From top to bottom, it has everything that you'd want. It is brilliant storytelling, great acting, great action. From top to bottom, start to finish, it is the complete package. And yet, it just isn't my favorite MCU movie because it lacks something for me. For me is the key words there because, look, everything's subjective. People look for different things in different pieces of art and entertainment. And unfortunately, The Winter Soldier just doesn't give me what Civil War does or what Infinity War does. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the same thing. I can tell, and I can acknowledge absolutely, from beginning to end, this film is the complete package. Visuals are spectacular. Voice performances are awesome. Characters are great and they're likable. Emotion is there. Between Miles and his dad, between Miles and his uncle. Everything is there. And it is a great movie. It just lacks that little bit extra for me that I think Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home have. And look, just on a personal note, visuals don't do it for me. Like, a lot of people say, I love this film because it's so unique and it's so visually interesting and I just love watching the movie. And I agree with that. I think the visual style is absolutely gorgeous. But, for me, visuals alone can never elevate a movie up to a certain point. For example, a film like The Lion King, the remake. It's beautiful. The CGI is absolutely exquisite, but it doesn't save the story. A film like 1917, which I know, unpopular opinion, I didn't love that much because, yes, the visual style and the one-shot takes and everything like that, beautiful, gorgeous, but it didn't really elevate the story for me, and that's why I don't like the film. So story and characters for me are more important than visual style. And while I think, yes, again, this film is excellent, it does everything right and it does nothing wrong, it just lacks that little bit extra for me that would make it go over the top. I think Miles Morales is a phenomenal character in this movie. I think his relationship with his dad as well as with his uncle the Prowler and that whole twist, because the first time I saw it, I actually didn't see that coming. I kind of didn't expect that until I sort of started to realize, oh yeah, the Prowler, I think I recognized that character, and sure enough, it was his uncle. And by the way, fingers crossed that Donald Glover comes back as the Prowler whenever they introduce Miles Morales. That would be awesome. But I love the emotional beats. I love the part where the dad is talking to him through the door and he can't answer him. I think that scene is great. I think the coming of age, trying to find his own in the world and be Spider-Man, that's all awesome. It is so well done. I think the other Spider-Man characters, specifically Peter B. Parker and Gwen Stacy, are just fantastic. Haley Steinfeld and Jake Johnson do a great job. And as for the other Spider-Mans, well, I think Spider-Ham is really funny, but I can't really say anything stood out to me about Penny Parker or Spider-Man Noir. I think they were just kind of there to fill out the world. I think Aunt May is kind of weird in a funny way, but also in a kind of weird way. I'm not sure. And the villain Kingpin actually has a motivation and actually has a reason for doing what he does. Shocker, because a lot of superhero films, like Thor: The Dark World, for example, just don't have that because the villains are evil because they're evil. And most of all, this film just has a consistency to it. It knows what it wants to be. From beginning to end, it is just gorgeous to look at. It has the tone of the coming of age story where we're following Miles Morales in his journey into becoming Spider-Man in this world of other Spider-Men and women, and it's just entertaining throughout. By the way, another thing that I noticed is that the film is so quickly paced, and I think that works in its benefit. It's going from here to there to here to there, introducing everyone through these really fun comic book panels and Easter eggs galore, which, again, for me as a Spider-Man fan, I loved. I just think that once you kind of strip away the novelty of it, which again is really novel and really ingenious, you're left with a story that is a little basic, I feel like. And it surprises me to say that because with a multiverse and with everything going on, I find that the basic core storyline of Miles coming of age is something that we've seen before with his dad and trying to figure out his relationship with his family and reconcile with his dad. It's something that I would think of in like a Pixar film. And by the way, that's no insult because Pixar films are wonderful and they do it wonderfully. And I think that this film does it again very wonderfully. And I know I'm going to get a ton of flack for that. Like, how can you call this film, of all films, kind of boring or kind of unoriginal? I know, I understand. It's just a subjective thing, and it's something that I know I'm in the minority about. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a film I can easily see being everyone's top favorites, like top 1 or top 2. I just can never see it being my top 1 because it just doesn't do it for me. Now, that being said, one of the things that I said going out of the theater and coming out of this rewatch that I completely stand by is I love the world that's been built here. I absolutely adore the world, and I would love to see it again. So I think that A Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 is absolutely going to be one of my most anticipated films of the next coming years. I think that the world that's been built and the amount of characters that you can bring in, the possibilities are truly, truly endless. And that's what I really like about this film. So again, I came out of the movie, this rewatch, understanding why people like the movie so much, but reaffirming my previous sentiments, that this was an extremely solid movie, just like Captain America the Winter Soldier. From top to bottom, everything was almost without fault for me. It's just lacking a little bit of something. But again, a really great film. So, what do you guys think of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? And yes, I think I'm going to be dropping my rating system from here on out. I'll probably make a video sometime down the line. I don't really feel that attached to my rating system anymore. We'll see about that. But anyways, I won't give this film a rating. I know all of you guys love it anyway, so you guys will go see it no matter what again, if you haven't seen it already for the 10,000th time, which again, great film. But anyways, if you haven't subscribed, then make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. This video is again sponsored by the like button because I know it already has 20 dislikes before anyone's even seen it, so there it is. And if you like this video, then make sure to check out some more videos on the screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.